In many ways, we're starting from scratch on something that's been raging for almost an entire year.
But let's be clear. When I took office just 3 weeks ago, this country did not have a plan or enough vaccines or people to vaccinate Americans. All Americans, anytime, at any point in 2021. It's no secret that the vaccination program was in much worse shape than my team and I anticipated. While scientists did their job in discovering vaccines in record time, my predecessor, be very blunt about it, did not do his job in getting ready for the massive challenge of vaccinating hundreds of millions of Americans. When I became president 3 weeks ago, America had no plan to vaccinate most of the country. It was a big mess. It's going to take time to fix, to be blunt with you.
The vice president said, speaking of vaccines and distribution, COVID, etc., she said, quote, "In many ways, we are starting from scratch on something that's been raging for almost a year. However, Dr. Fauci has recently said, quote, we're not starting from scratch because there is activity going on in the distribution. And even today, your administration said that there was, I believe the number was 892,000 doses that were administered in the final week before the president took over. So is that the best message to say that this administration started from scratch when there were indeed doses going out the door, and folks like Dr. Fauci say that's not the case?
Well, I don't think most governors or most of the American people would tell you that they think it was handled effectively and efficiently by the prior administration, given we are where we are. When the president came in and the vice president came in, there were not enough vaccines, there were not enough vaccinators, there were not enough vaccination locations.
Can you reassure teachers who are listening right now that it is safe for them to go back to school, even if they are not vaccinated, if these public health measures like distancing and masks are being implemented?
So first of all, let me just say this, and the president has said it, and we're all really clear. Teachers should be a priority. Teachers should be a priority in terms of vaccinations, but the states have the...
Is it safe for them?
Well, I think that we have to decide if we can put in place safe measures. This is why, and it's so important, we pass the American Rescue Plan to get them back open in a safe way.
I don't want to beat it to death, but I know there are teachers listening, and the CDC has said they don't have to be vaccinated to go back to school.
We think they should be a priority. We think they should be a priority.
Okay.
We think they should be a priority.
CDC guidance, then. That's the question, because
it's not a trick question, and I feel like you guys have treated it like a trick question. I think people just want to know what the White House position is. The science is that teachers don't necessarily have to be vaccinated for kids to return. And I think people want to know what the White House position is on that.
The White House position is that, and the president and vice president believe that teachers should be prioritized for receiving the vaccination, along with other...
Prioritize is one thing, and I think there's wide agreement they should be prioritized, and why not? Is it necessary, though? That's the question. It really is a yes-no question.
Well, John, I think the real question, frankly, if I can be frank here, is what you're getting to is it safe for kids to go back to school? And the president and vice president...
Actually not. In this case, that's not the question. The question is it safe for teachers to go back to school? And that's a very specific question in this case. And again, I'm not sure, I don't understand why it's a hard question to answer. It may be that you want every teacher to be vaccinated. It may be the answer is, yeah, teachers should, if they can, be vaccinated before they return to school, but it's not necessary.
Well, John, I think the president has been clear, the vice president has been clear, and I think I was really clear just now that it is the administration's position, the president and vice president believe that teachers should be prioritized for vaccinations.
I'll try one last time. Does the president feel that teachers have to be vaccinated in order for schools to open safely? Yes or no?
The president believes that teachers should be prioritized for vaccination.
All right. I'm not going to get a yes or no on that.
Previously, that the goal was to have the majority of K-8 schools open at least one day a week in the first 100 days. Last night, President Biden called that a mistake in communication. He wants them open 5 days a week. So can you clarify what is the administration's goal for reopening K-8 schools in the first 100 days?
Well, I'm not going to take it personally that you don't hang on every word that I say in here. I did say last Thursday that the president will not rest until every school is open 5 days a week. That is our goal. That is what we want to achieve, but we look forward to seeing and hearing the CDC guidelines to gain a better understanding of what steps that will entail or should entail. I also said I can assure any parent listening that his objective, his commitment is to ensure schools are open 5 days a week. So I think we've been consistent for the last several days, and certainly when I initially said 1 day a week, it was our floor, it was not our ceiling.
There has been a shifting timeline here. Now he said as recently as last night, he's talking about the majority of K-8 schools. Last week we heard a White House official saying open means it could mean just 1 day a week open. The president said, no, that was a miscommunication. But I mean, I guess, look, again, parents watching, what is the bottom line? What does it mean for schools to be reopened, and how soon can they be reopened?
So our goal is that as many K-8 schools as possible will reopen within the first 100 days. Our goal is that it will be 5 days a week, and so we have to work to achieve that goal. But our goal is the goal of parents. And I mean, here's the thing, Savannah, I don't need to tell you. We are the issue here is not just about statistics. It's about our kids. It's about their parents. It's about the fact that every day our kids are missing essential, critical days.
The question of when we get some semblance of normalcy, that timeline also seems to be shifting. Dr. Fauci had said a sense of normalcy maybe in the fall. That's when you might be able to go to theaters, go to sporting events, still with masks, of course. Now it seems that's being slid to early next year. The president said maybe around Christmas. What's going on here? When do we think we will get back to some taste of normalcy?
Well, this is the question, as I'm sure is the case for all of you, that every neighbor, every friend, every family member asks, at least me in the street when I'm walking my dog in the morning. We want to be straight with the American public, though. We are not in a place where we can predict exactly when everybody will feel normal again.
Richard Trumka, head of the AFL-CIO, has said in the past that he believes the president learned a lesson with his Keystone decision that if you're going to make a decision in which jobs are lost, you should have a specific simultaneous announcement in which there are jobs added. Trumka said, quote, I wish he hadn't, speaking to the president, done that on the first day because the Laborers International was right. The Laborers International has said that 1,000 jobs were lost. I'm wondering, is the president going to bring this issue up when he meets with the labor leaders? Did the president learn any lesson, as Richard Trumka suggested, and is he open to potentially looking at this decision once again from another angle?
Well, this is not the first time this has happened in here, where there's been about half of Richard Trumka's statement or comment in that particular interview shared and not the full context. And the other context, I unfortunately don't have it in front of me, is about his belief that the president is committed to creating good paying union jobs.
Even under Trump, there was a lot of Chinese companies that were added to an economic blacklist. Is that likely to continue as you evaluate your options? How are you thinking in terms of repercussions?
As it relates to our policy toward China, we are not in a rush. We are focused on communicating and working with our partners and allies around the world. The president has had a number of conversations, as you know, with Europeans. He will continue conversations with world leaders in the weeks ahead. But beyond that, there's an ongoing policy process, and I don't have anything to preview for you today.
The president said yesterday his goal is to have the majority of K-8 schools open 5 days a week, 5 day 100. What about high schools? What's the goal for them?
I'm not going to set new goals here, other than to say that the president wants students to be in school learning with their teachers 5 days a week. And he wants that to happen as quickly as possible and do it safely. And he's obviously said he wants that to happen in the first 100 days.